So, very good morning, students. Welcome to a prestigious Focus C or IIT and NEET Foundation program by Krishnaveni Talent Schools and Mastermind Schools. So, once again, I welcome all the class 9th students of branches so far, Jogipet, Indresham, ECAL for today's session. As you can see on the screen, my subject is physics. We are in class 9th. Today we are going to start a new chapter, Kinematics, and which is session number 1. So far we completed 2 chapters here. One is units and dimensions. Remember? Right, first chapter. And then we completed second chapter as vectors. So these 2 chapters we completed. Now we are entering to the third chapter, third unit of our material, that is kinematics, which is the most important topic in the physics. Either it be 6th class, 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th. It is continued from 6th to ends 12th. And it's almost 50% of physics depends on kinematics. That is this major part, right? So before knowing about kinematics, the main part of this is, which is called mechanics. So kinematics is a part of mechanics. Of course, mechanics is a part of physics. Of course, physics is a part of science. Right? Correct or not? Physics comes from science only. Science is nothing but wonders of nature. It may be physics, chemistry, biology, even mathematics also science only. So in that science, physics is the one part. In that physics, 50% part is mechanics. So what is mechanics? Study about motion of a body. And this mechanics also further classified into 3 categories. One is kinetics. Second one is, this is also called statics. Kinematics. Third one is dynamics. You can write in the first page, right? You can draw like this as it is, right? So mechanics is study about motion. Already you learned about motion, you studied in the previous classes. Study about motion is called mechanics. In that also again classification. One is statics, that is study about the body when it is at rest. So other than motion, what is the reciprocal of motion? Is rest. Body is not in motion. What is the meaning? Body is in rest. Correct? So such rest you can study under statics. Kinematics is study about the motion of a body without the cause. We are not discussing how it is moving. Whereas dynamics is there. Third part, dynamics is nothing but motion with cause. With cause. Means why it is moving. That also we learn. Okay. So now, today our topic is kinematics. That is study about the motion of the body without the cause of motion. We are not even trying to learn what cause, why body is moving. We are not worrying about that. We are worrying only about the motion of the body. What happens when the body is moving? What are the different types of motions you can see in our day-to-day life? And what are the important terms related to motion of a body? All these things comes under our kinematics. Right? So physics to mechanics to kinematics. Kinetics or kinematics here. Kinetics are also called statics. Just let me write clearly so that you can mark it. Just mark it as it is tree diagram. So physics first. In that the 50% is mechanics. Next, remaining 50% is energy. So many energies are there. Study about the energies. Statics, kinematics, And third one is dynamics. So our part is, this is when study about the rest. And kinematics is study about motion. And again, dynamics is study about motion with cause. With cause is nothing but study about force, we can call it as, because cause is force only. Newton's laws and all comes under dynamics. Right. So this is the introduction part of the kinematics, which you already learned in the lower classes. Because you are ninth class. By the time you reach ninth class, you might have learned cross of 6th, 7th, and 8th. So everywhere you can see this kinematics chapter. Correct or not? Right? Okay. So maybe 9th class students are busy with their SA1 examination, so attendance is found to be very less. So Ramnagar, ECAL, Indresham, Jogipet, good to see you. So now we'll go to the exactly what is the topic. We'll discuss about the synopsis 1 of the chapter kinematics. Right? So the first synopsis 1. So chapter name is kinematics. You can see from your material also. So in that synopsis 1, the terms related to motion. So you know kinematics is study about the motion of a body. The point number 1 you can note. Cited in kinematics. The study of motion of a body. Right? Is called kinematics. So first point, that is synopsis first point. Study of motion of body is called kinematics. We are not bothering about the cause of motion. Remember, we are never discussed about cause of motion kinematics. We discuss only about the motion. What is motion? What are the terms related to motion? And what are the equations related to motion? And some numericals. Okay? Now, first point over. Now we come to terms. So when you are studying about the physical quantity, that is kinematics, already we discussed. So we come across physical quantities. So physical quantities are nothing but the quantities which can be measured. Point number 2 you can write. Physical quantities. What? Physical quantities. So what is the answer for physical quantities? The quantities which can be measured. So is the second point. The quantities which can be measured. Which can be measured or measurable. All the measurable quantities are called physical quantities. Right? All the measurable quantities are called physical quantities, which we can measure. For example, mass, we can measure. Time, we can measure. Correct or not? Length, we can measure. Pressure, we can measure. Density, we can measure. Heat, we can measure. All these are comes under physical quantities. When you are studying about the motion, the first comes in mind is physical quantities. Okay. These physical quantities again classified into 2 categories. One is fundamental physical quantities. Second one is derived physical quantities. Right? Clear? First write down the first 2 points, then you can go for third point here. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth. 6 points totally. First, let me write these 2 so that I can clear and you can explain the remaining points. So, first point is about kinematics, the study of motion of a body. And second one is physical quantity, the quantities which can be measured. You can write examples also. Example, time, length, mass, etc. Area, volume, anything you can write. Next come, these physical quantities are classified into fundamental physical quantities and derived physical quantities. What? fundamental, and just let me rub this one. I am rubbing the 2 points. Hope you might have written already. So these physical quantities, which you are saying that there are so many are there, like length, mass, time, area, volume, density, all they are classified into fundamental and derived quantities. They are classified into fundamental and derived quantities, right? So when you see fundamental physical quantities, first one is fundamental. Quantities which are independent of any other quantity. Independent means they does not depends on any quantities. Which does not depends on any quantities are called fundamental quantities. Like length, mass, time. Many are there. 9 are there. Temperature. You can note this. Temperature. Right. Luminous intensity. Electric current. Right. So all these are comes under the fundamental physical quantity. Of course, quantity of matter. Quantity of substance. The total, there are 7. 7 fundamental quantities. Length, quantity which are independent of any quantities. They have their own definition. They have their own representation. They does not depend on anything. Such quantities are called fundamental. Length, mass, time, temperature, luminous intensity, electric current, and quantity of substance. So there are 7 fundamental. First, initially there are 3 only. Later they added 4 more. These 4. So note down. Next, apart from this 7, remaining all are comes under derived quantities. The quantities which are derived from fundamental quantities. They are obtaining from fundamental quantities. They are not direct. Such quantities are called derived physical quantities, like see, force, area, volume, pressure, anything you can write, density. Apart from these 7, density, energy, all comes under the derived quantities. So, when you are discussing about the motion, the first point strike our mind is physical quantities. These physical quantities can be either fundamental or derived. The first classification. Okay. Then, again, these quantities, either they may be fundamental or derived, they are classified into scalar quantities and vector quantities also. So, the quantities having only magnitude. Magnitude is nothing but number. Only magnitude are called scalar quantities, which are having both magnitude and direction are called vector quantities. So scalar quantities like length, mass, and time. Vector quantities, force and momentum, etc., etc. So write down all the 6 points. There are 6 points are there overall. First, physical quantities and kinematics already written. Right? Fundamental quantities, derived quantities, scalar quantity, vector quantities. So all the physical quantities are classified into first fundamental and derived quantities based on their independence. Next, scalar and vector based on their magnitude and direction. Only magnitude scalar quantities, both magnitude and direction vector quantities, right? Just to note. So from fundamental quantities, derived quantities, scalar quantities, and vector quantities. Then we'll move to our original topic, motion, which is a part of kinematics. Right. Hope you are clearly visible. The screen. Terms related to motion. The first one is kinematics. Second one is physical quantities. Third one is fundamental quantities, derived quantities, scalar quantities, vector quantities. So total entire physics depends on This only. 50% of physics. Everywhere you can find these words, some or other way. Then, right. So now we can come to our original part, that is our motion. Introduction to motion. Right. So, what is motion? Introduction. Everybody, you know commonly, what is motion? Movement of a body. If a body changes its position with time, we can call it as body is in motion. If it is not changing, it is at rest. Reciprocal of motion is rest. Suppose you kept the book on table. After 1 hour you came, will the book move? Is there only until unless anybody takes. So as it is occupying same position for long time, it is said to be in rest. If not, it is called motion. So an object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with time. Right? So this is another important point 7. Point number 7. An object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with time. Along with the time, it keep on changing. You are sitting at one place in school classroom, okay. Otherwise, sir, every one period you change the position, you are said to be in motion. Car, boat, rickshaw, truck, etc. So many motions you can see in our day-to-day life. Right? So many types of motions. So an object is said to be in motion if changes its position with time. Write it as 7th point. Examples, you can write car, boat, or if you want, you can write aeroplane, whatever you want, you can write. Or your cycle, you can write. Or your auto, you can write. Everything, all comes under the motion. When a body is in changing the position with time. Right. Done. Now you can see types of motion. So I already told there are so many different types of motions are there. So many you can see in our day-to-day life from morning to evening. Right. So according to the direction, according to in which direction they are going, they are classified into linear motion, circular motion. If it goes straight line, linear motion. If a body moves in straight path, it is called linear motion, like motion of a truck on a straight road. That is, linear means straight line. Based on direction, motion is divided into linear motion and circular motion. The body follows a circular path. It is called circular motion. The body moves around the fixed point in a circular path. Motion of electric fan, motion of electronic in its electrons in orbit. You might have learned in chemistry. They move. Even motion of Earth around the sun or planets around the sun. Right? That is based on the direction. So, based on direction, motion is classified in two categories. One is linear motion, straight line motion. Second one is circular motion, which is in a circular path. Next to B. According to the state of motion. According to state of motion means whether it is moving constantly or changing the speed. It is divided into uniform motion, non-uniform motion. Right? Uniform and non-uniform motion. So what is the meaning? Uniform is it covers equal distance in equal time. For example, I will tell. So suppose you are here, your home is here, your school is here. Total distance is 2 kilometers. Right? So you started here at 8 o'clock. So reached 1 kilometer. This is 1 kilometer. 2 means I made it as 2 hours. 1 and 1. So 1 kilometer you moved for in 10 minutes. Second also 10 minutes. So you reached by 8:20 to the school. So equal distance covering in equal time. So 1 kilometer in 10 minutes, second 1 kilometer also 10 minutes. Then what we can say? You are moving with the uniform speed, uniform motion. If not, second case, consider. So first 1 kilometer, you took 20 minutes. Second, you moved only 5 minutes. Means speed up. Time is going on, so you moved. So what is this? This is called non-uniform. If it is moving the constant speed, we can call it as uniform motion. Variable speed called non-uniform motion or variable motion. See here, graph also, we are getting a straight line passing through origin. It indicates the body moving with a constant speed. But whereas you see here, speed increases, decreases, increases, decreases, changing. Changing the speed with time. Suppose you are going by cycle or motorcycle or car, we cannot go with same speed. Definitely based on the traffic, we can change the speed. Either we increase the speed or we may decrease the speed also as per requirement. Then you can find it as a non-uniform motion as well as uniform motion. So motions are defined based on direction, based on state of motion into these categories. This is about the types of motion. You can write a point number 8 and 9. Right? Point number 8 is according to the direction. Point number 9 is according to the state of motion. Please note down, then we'll move to the important terms. Right? Have you done? Now come to suppose body is in motion. Now you are thinking that body is in motion. Just keep in your mind that body is moving. Whether it may be circular motion or it may be linear motion or it may be uniform motion or it may be non-uniform, no matter. When body is in motion, we'll come across some terms. Some terms we come across. For example, distance. Because when a body is moving, it covers some distance. So it is followed by displacement. Right? We'll get speed, velocity, acceleration, retardation, time. Because time is common anyway. So these are the terms which will come across when a body is in motion. Means every moving body will have these terms. It covers some distance or displacement, speed or velocity, acceleration or retardation or deceleration. You can call it as negative acceleration. Right? Correct or not? So the terms we'll discuss first. After that, there is a relationship between the terms. The terms are not independent. One is related to other. So speed is related to distance. Velocity is related to displacement. Retardation and acceleration are related to each other. Of course, time is common for everything. Whether body is moving or rest, time always moves. Correct or not? So we'll discuss about the importance of the terms. So first you see distance. So already learned in lower classes. So what is distance? The length of the actual path traveled by object. For example, we are here at point A. So you should reach to your destination is B. Say suppose this is Hyderabad to it is Mumbai, right? So there are so many ways. Suppose you are going from Hyderabad to Mumbai, you are going from Nagpur and back to the Mumbai. Or you can directly go from Hyderabad to Mumbai via some Vijayawada, some other place. See, this total length traveled by a body is called distance. The shortest distance is called displacement. This is displacement, that is, suppose say this is C. So displacement is nothing but AB. Whereas distance is AC plus CCB. Total. The total length or actual length of the path followed by a body. Actual length of the path followed by a body is called a distance. Suppose if I ask you, where is your nose? You can show like this directly, or you can show like this also. Showing like this is called distance. Showing directly is called displacement. Simple funda. Right. The shortest path is called displacement. So both are interrelated terms. The twin terms. Common, our day-to-day life, we think that is the same only. But there is a big difference is there. Right? Okay. So see, I'll see. One example I'll tell. The same. To make you clear about the distance and displacement. Same again, we are starting from one place. So there are so many ways to move. One body came like this and reached here. And one body directly moved. So the total distance here is 200 kilometers. Example. But when you are going this side, for suppose this is 120 kilometers. From here to here it is 80 kilometers. Again 80 kilometers. Again 120 kilometers. Or total is the distance. 120 plus 80, 200. 200 plus 200, 400 total. So actual shortest distance is 200 kilometers. But we are moving to 400 kilometers. That 400 kilometers is called distance. 200 kilometers is called displacement. That's why it's a shortcut. What is shortcut? Is nothing but displacement. Right? Right. That is the two important terms in motion. So displacement, the change in the position of an object around the particular direction during the motion. So the dimension formula, you know dimension formula. Dimensions already we learned. So dimension formula of the distance is only L1, M0, T0. Because that represents length. Length is nothing but either distance or displacement. Right? So this is measured in either meters or centimeters. Both distance and displacement are measured in either meter or centimeter. So note down these points also like maybe 9, 10. You can note from your material also later. You can write down. Then next one is speed. Very important one. Speed. Speed is nothing but distance by time. The rate of distance. Distance you are measuring. See, distance, displacement, there is difference is there. Distance does not have direction. So it is a scalar quantity. Displacement is have both magnitude and direction. So it is a vector quantity. So whenever distance is a scalar quantity, speed also scalar quantity because speed is nothing but distance by time. Speed with specific direction is called velocity. So velocity is nothing but displacement by time. Means, or you can simply call it as speed with specific direction is called velocity. So speed and velocity also another important terms. Another important related terms. One is distance by time, other is displacement by time, which is measured in, both of them are measured in either meter per second or centimeter per second or kilometer per hour. Very important relations is. The largest unit of speed is kilometer per hour. So what is this? You might have seen everywhere. You can see the vehicles. When you are traveling by two-wheeler or four-wheeler, you can see the speed as kilometer per hour. How much speed you are going. Speedometer will be there, right? Speedometer. Speedometer in a vehicle directly indicates how much speed you are going. Right? Speedometer. So there are 2 meters are there for every vehicle. One is odometer, other one is speedometer. Odometer indicates the distance you traveled, how many kilometers you traveled, and speedometer indicates how much speed you are traveling. 20 kilometers, 40 kilometers per hour, 50, 80, 120, two-wheeler. You go to four-wheeler, 200, 250 also available. That is kilometer. It measures the speed in kilometers per hour. So what is kilometer per hour? I will tell you. Because you know the units are meter per second only. So kilometer per hour is nothing but 1 kilometer per hour is equal to, what is 1 kilometer? You can write 1000 meters, right? And 1 hour is equal to how many seconds? 1 hour is 60 minutes. Each minute is equal to 60 seconds. Now it gets converted to seconds. So you can 0 cancel, 2 zeros cancel. What will you get? 10 by 6 is 36 meter by second, or 5 by 18. 5 by 18 meter by second. 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. If you ask to convert, very important mathematical conversions, it comes in exam. 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. 1 meter per second is equal to 18 by 5. Reverse, that's all. Kilometer per hour. Either you can convert meter per second into kilometer per hour, or kilometer per hour into meter per second also. Right? These are the units of the speed. Apart from meter per second or centimeter per second, speed is measured in kilometer per hour. 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second, and 1 meter per second is equal to 18 by 5 kilometer per hour. You can note down this point actually. Very important point, which is not, maybe they'll explain lower class, they are already explained. So you can write now as a part of 12 and 13. Right? So after studying about distance, displacement, speed, and velocity, we'll move to the next slide where we learn about more about the some more terms like acceleration and retardation. First, note on this. With this, we are going to complete synopsis 1. So tomorrow class we'll start the synopsis 2. I told you the relation between these terms, which is called equations of motion. Right? Now the next term is acceleration. Accelerate, you know, accelerator. Every vehicle will have accelerator, where 2, 4 are in wheeler. Right? What is acceleration? Increasing of velocity. We'll start generally with some velocity. We'll increase the velocity or decrease velocity. Increasing of velocity is called acceleration. Decreasing of velocity is called deceleration or retardation or negative acceleration. Right or not? So the rate of change of velocity, that is change in velocity from time to time. So this is a very important definition of acceleration. Acceleration is change in velocity by time. V2 minus V1 by T2 minus T1. So it is measured in meter per second square or centimeter per second square. Either acceleration may be uniform or non-uniform or variable. We are changing the velocity. Suppose you are going from school to home with a scooty or vehicle. So you see the speedometer will show how much speed you are going. We're going with same constant speed. You can set to be a uniform. It is variable. Changing the speed, velocity, time to time, variable. Or you are going irregularly, non-uniform. Uniform, non-uniform, and variable velocity. Sorry, acceleration. Right? Right or not? So Another important, the most important term is acceleration. It may be either uniform or non-uniform acceleration. So these are the terms. All the terms related to the motion or all the terms related when body is in motion. Every moving body will cover distance, displacement, speed, velocity, acceleration, and negative acceleration. It's also called retardation. The acceleration may be either uniform or non-uniform or variable. These terms, all these terms what we discussed, will have their relation among themselves. They are not independent. They have relation among themselves. That relation is called our next synopsis 2, equations of motion. There are 4 equations of motions are there in kinematics. Maybe 3 they'll explain for you. You might have seen already in lower classes, but still we'll discuss them in the next class. Next class we'll discuss about the what are the equations of motions, how they are derived, and how to solve the problems by using these equations of motions. There are so many numerical problems are available. That will continue in the tomorrow class with the equations. See all the derivations, special case also given for equations of motion. Okay. Oh. Right. There is a blank paper I kept for clear. So after learning about these equations of motion, tomorrow class. So today, just today's homework you can take. This called as a homework. Explain terms related to motion. Right? Explain the terms related to motion. All the terms you can explain. That is starting from distance to acceleration and negative acceleration. Right? You write it already, you might have written the points wise. You keep it clear, clarity, and you take the signature from your teacher or while leaving the class, and parents after going home, so that they come to know what happens exactly in the class. Right? So thank you, Jogipet branch, KTS Alwal, Banur, Indresham, Gudi Malkapur, and ECL branch. So thank you all of you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.